Contact Buzz.
Hello.
Well, fancy seeing you guys here.
It's been a minute.
It has been a minute, but you know what? Everything's been chill. We've been, you know us. We take those moments of radio silence when we need to, when we're going through shit, when we're healing, when we're dealing, when we're feeling. You never know when we're going to be popping up around the corner, though. Because one thing about us is if we're quiet, we're still good. We're just working through some shit, and then we're going to come back and we're going to be balls to the wall.
Yeah, I think everybody should allow their time for that retreat and that going within and to deal with what you have to in life, especially spiritually right now, because we're seeing a lot of stagnation moving out of people's lives.
Absolutely.
Out of our own lives. And, you know, good things are happening, good things are coming in, manifestations on a high level right now.
Absolutely.
We're seeing all kinds of shifts going on in the world, and I can't even remember where we left off last.
Same. It's been a minute, but
we're gonna roll with it.
that's all right. We are always gonna roll with it. We've been flying under the radar, getting our shit taken care of, getting our ducks in a row and all that good stuff. But guess what? We are actually getting ready to hit the road Friday for the very first time of the year. 2023, we knew it was going to be a great year for travel, for fun, for self-growth and improvement as always, but abundance and getting the community forming.
Hell yeah.
You know, getting people together, introducing people to other people, spreading the light and the love like we always do. But yeah, we are going to our first psychic party of the year. And that's at up in the Indiana area.
Yeah,
Indianapolis to be specific. So it should be a fun little trip coming up for us.
Yeah.
We get to go and get our little metaphysical game on, but also to something that we've been called to in meditation and just in life in general right now has been the adventure. In fact, we have on our altar a card from the 40 Servants deck. By Tommy Kelly, contributed by Keith, who is here in the studio with us today. Hi, Keith.
What's happening?
But yeah, so we have been called to adventure a lot, and so funny, this proposition was offered to us, and we were like, God damn, there it is. There's the adventure we've been waiting for. So
that ain't the only proposition.
But no, yeah, we got lots of good stuff.
So if you guys have been feeling like us, it's kind of like a weird, odd setback feeling. We are totally disconnected from society, and some of us are in different levels than others as far as that goes, of how much we expose ourselves to the outside world. But, you know, as you guys probably know, there's shit going on everywhere. But again, if you've been listening to us, especially up to this point, that you'll know that we have been talking about things that's happening. You know, you can't look at it from the social status or the status of the people, the humans, or whatever, but we're talking about that just higher spiritual knowing.
Yeah.
And that is what's you're feeling with these tides coming in. And right now, it's like we're waiting on for something to happen.
Yeah,
we know, we feel it. There's a group of us.
Right.
It's crazy how much we are all connected.
Yeah.
And we feel that tribe getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And it's growing. But it's frustrating at points.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you're not getting past something. There's,
right. It
but
just feels like
every
you're
time,
stagnant, you're spinning in your tracks, but you're actually working on shit that you need to work on.
Yeah, and it's something, Spirit always continuously will remind you of that too.
Absolutely.
And no matter how many times you feel that way, you will go through that process of having to tell yourself, just be patient.
It comes in
with
waves,
yourself.
and it comes quickly when you start healing yourself. Because you start to heal these things one by one, you're eventually going to be a pretty healed MFer. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
But the more you heal, the more opportunity that you have to process things that you hadn't thought about in a while. So it's a process, man. It's a wave. It comes in waves because there's waves of things that we have to work through that the Spirit brings back around on the occasion. And if you haven't worked through it, you'll know, because you'll start to see those repeating patterns and stuff.
Yeah.
Once you start to see a repeating pattern in your life of something that you keep thinking to yourself, why does this keep happening to me? So think about everything that's going on in your life right now. Process what is causing that to happen, because I promise you that's a lesson that you have to learn and that you have to get through. So you start being more patient with yourself and figuring out why you're being triggered by these things, and then you can heal that. And then you 9 times out of 10 can always find the root cause of the triggers and things like that. So then you work on it and you heal it. It's a slow process, but it works, man. So why not start paying more attention, being more aware?
You know, sometimes you can't see the forest because of the trees.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
And talking about that big picture is like, sometimes you can't see where you're headed because of where you are in the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You gotta get out of your own way.
You do.
I mean,
so
that's
much.
ultimately that's what it boils down to. We talked about this so many times on Contact Buzz. Even through our own healing processes, is just being brutally honest with you guys, letting you in on our personal lives. Because honestly, I don't really give a fuck. I'm authentically me.
Exactly.
You get Holly 100%, and you know, and that's what it's about too, is being authentic with yourself.
Exactly.
Because how are you going to allow to yourself to tap into a power that is godly and divine if you don't think of yourself as godly and divine?
Right.
Because we have to be that way. It's the mind, body, soul connection that we have to have with ourselves. Everybody looks outward for that connection.
Mm-hmm.
That is fucked up. That is totally fucked up.
Yeah, it starts with self-love. Let me tell you, like, once you figure out how to truly love yourself, and why wouldn't you? Because you should be the most important thing in your own universe. So take the time to invest in you. Get to know you on a deeper level without you with your husband or you with a friend. Who are you specifically?
Yeah.
Pinpoint what makes you you, and cipher out how much has been filtered through another person that you've been searching for something through.
You're not your parents. You're not your teachers.
Exactly.
You're not your house. You're not your stuff. You know. Who are you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what we got to get to the root of before we can truly start to love ourselves. Because then we really know who we are, and we trust the decisions that we make ourselves, and the instinctual voices that we have, you know, and we trust that gut. It's one of those things that anybody can perfect, you know, and it ain't even really perfecting. It's just getting your head out of your ass and learning how to process things and what is this, or how can you. There's so many people that are so numb inside that they can't distinguish one energy from the other in their energy field, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they get so blinded and so jaded and so numb, and that's the mindless droves and the sheeple out there that haven't woken up. But then they get knocked. Something comes into their orbit one day and just jolts them, and it says, "Oh shit, this is not the way it was supposed to happen."
Mm-hmm.
Or I seen a person standing in my doorway at 3 a.m. in the morning that shouldn't have been there, and when I looked back, you know, those type things shake you, and then that's when the fun begins. That's when you start to work on your shit. That's when you can really start to make a difference. If you have good guidance, or if you just have a good trust with yourself, you don't even need guidance, really. It's just an innate understanding and knowing that we come to, that we project our path upon, you know.
The guides show up.
Yeah, the guides,
You know,
absolutely.
that old adage of, like, you know, whenever you're looking for the teacher arrives.
Absolutely.
Those guides and those pathways and those signals show up. You just have to be aware of them and
Yes.
pay attention.
Speaking of, synchronicities have been off the chart, and I think
yeah.
that would be an example of what
Yeah.
you're speaking about
Absolutely,
there.
synchronicities.
So if you pay attention to things, you'll be hearing us have this conversation about synchronicities, and then you'll see something on your timeline. Right when I say the word synchronicity, you're going to see it on your timeline. Synchronicity, as you're listening, you're going to be like, holy shit, that was a synchronicity. So those things are clues to our spiritual path that if we pay attention to, we can recognize, hey, this was out of the ordinary. The three of us personally have been having a lot of Alice in Wonderland synchronicities, and that is to the point that me and Holly actually painted a rendition of something from Alice in
Alice
Wonderland.
Wonderland, and then Keith done the art.
Yeah,
his digital
and
artwork,
Keith
yeah.
did his digital.
We talked about
artwork.
this on the show, I think.
Yeah. So,
last time.
but yeah, so we've been having those synchronicities, and it's been off the charts.
And they're still persisting.
And then they are still persisting. Yeah, because we did tell the story about the white rabbit. and
We
all
did.
that.
We did
Yeah.
talk about that.
Cool. Funny how it all comes back.
I know. It's all
Yeah.
coming back to me now.
It's all coming back. No.
Coming back. Yeah.
But,
But yeah, so this shift, everybody, like we've been talking about this big shift, this big change, this, new earth vibes, It's
Yeah.
out there spiritually, like you see it out in social media and TikTok. It's in your face like constantly. And if you're watching TikTok, you're hitting these videos that are hitting you. It's hitting you dead on. I've seen it. I've experienced it.
Same.
And I'm not a huge TikToker. I like getting on there and expressing myself, but to sit there all day to scroll through TikTok, that's not me. But, I've experienced too. You're seeing these massive messages, and you see me in Dallas's cards that we're doing daily now
Yeah.
too, which we ain't done in the last 2
We
nights. That's
say
okay.
daily loosely, but that's okay.
Maybe a Monday through
Y'all
Monday.
know us.
I mean, there's a work week. There's a work week.
They know us by now. If you've been listening to us
Absolutely.
for a while, you know us. We'll get to it when we fucking want
That's
to.
right, as we always do.
But no, we started doing daily drawing. And honestly, it's to keep ourselves accountable for keeping our energy going.
Yeah, keeping
because I
our
think it's very
intuition on
important for
point.
everybody. Yeah, the intuition. These cards are oracle cards. And when I say like oracle, it says like one word.
And then there you go. Yeah. So the things that you saw, if you guys are following us and see those posts, that's strictly us channeling information from the Word. We sit here and we let Spirit speak through us, and that's what the result is. So if you're seeing that, that's how that works.
Yeah. It's also, like I said, keeping ourselves accountable.
Exactly.
Because
Doing
it's
something
important
on
to
the
our
daily.
routines and
Yeah.
stuff. It's very important in your daily. If
Speaking
you,
of,
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh no, yeah, it's like anybody who suffers from any types of ways.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Getting in that lower vibrational, and that covers the whole span of it. Getting that lower vibrational world,
Absolutely.
it's a good thing to have a routine daily.
Yes. Yeah, what I was going to say is I've been I think we posed this question on Facebook a little while back is have you been called to the altar more lately?
Yeah.
Again, we are very eclectic in our practices, so we do have some very paganistic practices, but we also have Buddhist, whatever, we take from what we will.
Eclectic.
So we do have an altar that we set up, and what was I going to say?
Maybe you want to go over here and get a nag champa.
I totally lost track there.
The altar,
Imagine
getting
that.
called to the altar.
Oh yes, so lately I've been feeling my connection to spirit needed some nourishment, right? So I felt kind of disconnected, as we all do from time to time. Not so far as gone that I didn't feel spirit, but that I wanted to strengthen my connection with spirit and to honor my ancestors on a daily basis. So I've been called to light up some incense, burn some sage, some Palo Santo, light some candles for the ancestors, and just go before Spirit every day in gratitude. Full on 100% gratitude for everything that I got around me or in my energy field at this moment. Right? And I think Holly and both Keith are practicing daily as well, as far as things at the altar and all that good stuff. But I felt that call, and I think that's to do with that new world and keeping those vibrations high and keeping that connection to spirit. Because as we know, it's transitioning from the fourth dimension to the fifth dimension. If you're looking at everything that's been channeled by people, by us, that's what I feel like is happening, is we're bleeding into that 5D reality, right? So all these timelines are ending, all these timelines are changing. I feel like in us personally, we've experienced a timeline shift. I don't know, there's weird things. We were talking about the Mandela effect there earlier, and how we remember certain things and certain people don't. We've talked about that many times over. Y'all are familiar with it, I'm sure. But in this context, we were talking about just how fucking weird it is,
Yeah, because some of the memories that I have with the Mandela effect, are extremely vivid,
Mm-hmm.
and they're self-confusing.
Right.
Like, I vividly remember, the existence of the Shazam and Kazam movies.
Yeah.
I held both of those tapes in my, like the VHS is in my hand at the video store. I remember having a conversation with my dad about, this feels like a ripoff of this other one. I remember having that conversation, and to find out that one of those actually does not exist, like it's a mental mindfuck.
Yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
very, very confused by it. But, I have come to this understanding that the universe is very weird. And, sometimes I just like to let it be weird.
Yeah, you have to, because it's a weird, beautiful ride, man. It's crazy. I know it makes you feel crazy at certain points in your life.
Oh, hell yeah.
But you get over that at a certain point, because you just feel the energy, and you just know.
Weird with a Y. Good weird.
Weird with a Y, yeah, absolutely.
Good weird.
Yeah, Dragon's Weird Book Club for life.
Yeah, I realize, seeing people along their journeys and their paths, I see the holding on to things so tightly.
Oh, yeah.
But when they let go of it, it's like, why did I fight so hard to hold
And
on to
it's
something so much?
Such sweet release when
Such
that
sweet
happens,
release
man.
to do that. And, to be able to see someone do that, and to see someone heal,
It's
to see
beautiful.
someone let go of ego. And, my God, hello!
Mhm.
Like, what kind of world are we building here?
That's why we do what we do, to see people grow and to spread the word by sharing experiences of ours that we've had. So it might help somebody. It might hit them in a way that makes them think,
Connections.
oh shit, man, this is right.
Yeah.
That's what I like. That's the light. We're sharing the light. We're passing the light on to people.
Right. We talk about the collective energy. This is something we sit here. You guys know how we roll. Like, if we had been recording conversations that we've been having on a daily basis, y'all would be like, how many episodes can these guys release? Because it's like that every day. This is our life. But no, we had been talking at one of our recent conversations about the collective group. So in the collective group, there are many collective groups, I feel like, based on energy fields. And we were talking about how, because I know for us, when we read for our collective group, it's highly spiritual people.
Yeah.
It's people who are on that level of expansion of consciousness that can understand it.
Exactly.
But, if it hits home with other people, it's going to hit home with them. It doesn't mean that they're less than. It just means that they have the possibility of expanding that consciousness if
Just
they
as we
allow
do.
themselves to do that. But you can see the collective groups, and just in their energy fields, the lower vibrational groups that's out there,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got your highest vibrational groups, the collective. So the messages and energy that we receive on a daily, we are connected to these groups.
Absolutely.
So if you're teetering the line between that lower vibrational and higher vibrational, we're always going to be teetering or bopping up and down, dependent on our environment,
it's
right?
True. You have
So
to. and this-
why do we choose to stay in an environment that brings us down, or why
Good
do
question.
what brings us down? Is it our environment, or is it just something that
we need
you
to heal?
Yeah, that you
Yeah.
need to heal.
How you
Right.
feel about your environment.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
can change that perception.
God,
Yeah.
you have to. And if God knows there's certain situations, you get yourself up out of that shit, man.
What comes back to the gratitude?
Yeah,
Like
gratitude.
if you are grateful for the things that you have, like there's the less of want.
Yep. Yep.
I'm happy and grateful for the everything that I have in my life.
Exactly, and that's
You know,
how I've been in a constant state of gratitude for months now. And even if I'm not feeling good on the daily basis, I still will go to Spirit in gratitude for all that I have.
Even if it's not monetary or is
Yeah,
monetary.
exactly.
It's the people in your life, the food you eat, the air you breathe.
There is always something for gratitude.
Sometimes it's the the smell of a flower. Spring's coming up, and we're getting some of those nice, awesome smells in the air, and the green coming back. Some of the flowers are nice. So
Absolutely.
taking the time to just even the smell of those flowers, or the feel of the grass
Very
on
important.
your feet.
That helps us with grounding. That helps us with keeping our mind straight, man.
well, it's these months too. Also, like the winter months are the depressing months. Them are the ones where you're cooped up in your house. Although that you got your introverts that never come out of their house, they wouldn't know the difference of what seasons it was. But still, it's just that collective energy
And
too.
you get the
connected to that.
regular depression, and then you get the seasonal depression
Yeah,
too. So.
yeah.
I
You know,
agree.
it's like what we need to be talking about more of though here is about mental health issues,
Absolutely.
which exist in all of us as a collective. So not only are we, you know, we talk about we are one, right? So we're all connected. So let's break it off by sections.
Right.
And that's that collective groups. If you are participating in a collective group of people, then you are going to take on the feelings of that specific group of people. You are immersing yourself in that energy. And if you don't know how to shield yourself correctly, then you're going to take on emotions of other people. You're going to take on anger. You're going to take on other things. You know, it becomes an attachment of sorts. So that is another type of attachment that's going into shamanism that's not talked about
Exactly.
quite often, is other people's emotional.
Yeah,
It's-
you get addicted to
it's
it.
being-
It sweeps you in. It's
Yeah.
all
And-
encompassing.
And the concept of reality transurfing, it's that pendulum idea. Like you're becoming an inherent of that pendulum.
Right.
Like if you join that group, you
Right.
become a part of that group. You become
Absolutely.
the feelings, their
Mhm.
ideas, their thoughts, their
Oh, yeah.
language. You become engrossed in it,
Yeah.
and you can get lost in that pendulum swing.
Oh yeah. You let it define who you are
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
person
yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of you defining who you are as a person.
Right, and sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it until you're out of it.
Exactly.
You're like, well,
You're
fuck.
like, damn.
It's hard.
But you know, hearing someone admit that they were in that,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I applaud that, and I think that's beautiful because that's called letting go of the fact that hey, I'm not perfect, I make mistakes,
Oh God. Yeah.
and if I tell you that hey, I'm sorry or I apologize or you know you are saying damn I was a dickhead or I know I need to do better,
Right.
you know I failed this test, I'm going
Oh
to do
God.
better
Yeah.
at
I
it.
do that so
You know,
much. You know me.
When you're guys, y'all know the more than anything, if you're in friendships with people, that energy is hard to take on people who are not,
the person.
you know, not spiritual, not spiritual,
Right.
but being spiritual in the aspect of, you know, people go, what the fuck, I forgot. what I was
Sorry,
talking
I
about.
I probably got you
Shit,
distracted
yeah.
there with my giggle.
Damn.
My little,
It got me.
my little gig. Sorry, man. I
It's
derailed
okay.
the conversation.
It's okay.
Sometimes it just sometimes derailments happen.
They do.
You got new branches of some little branches make big rivers.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
sometimes you break off into other things.
Yeah. Speaking of, a dream is like a river, ever changing as it flows. Sorry.
Keep going. As of you mentioned mental illness,
Yeah.
years I've dealt with anxiety and depression, and a lot of different issues, PTSD,
Oh,
and
yeah.
getting into spiritualism, and at least learning how to meditate on a daily basis has helped. It's helped stay out of those depressive modes.
Nice.
It's helped not have those anxiety issues, and being able to walk into public, going into a local store, instead of having a full freak out because there's too many people here.
Yeah. I've been there too.
Using meditation and a new way of getting a different perspective on life. I'm going in a different person into that store.
Hell yeah.
So at least doing a daily meditation and adding that to your life.
It's as simple as that, guys.
Yeah.
It really is. I know we preach that, but we could not preach that enough. Because that's the secret of every bit of growth that you'll
It's the
ever
doorway. I mean, it
experience.
really is. Because, I've talked about this a million times, and I ain't going to go in depth of it, but the second time that I meditated, my hands started heating up. Y'all, that is energy work. That was energy work instantly. I had no clue at that time, of course. I went through the hard knocks of spirituality, blindly,
Same.
The concepts of meditation also, a lot of people get a misconception of what meditation is. You can find meditative practices in multiple places,
Right.
like from doing art, from writing music.
Okay, yeah, there's so many different.
From driving, you can get into that driving hypnosis.
Yeah.
Which
We've
we've all
covered
done.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've all just been driving along and wonder how the hell we made it from point A to point
We've
B.
actually talked about that once on the show, I think in
so.
the past.
I think
But-
we did on a spiritual vomit, or
Yeah.
maybe even this one.
But even like in reading a book, in those moments where you get lost, and you can find that that either that out of body experience or that gnosis point,
Mm-hmm.
that is where magic and happens.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
where knowledge transfers. That's where the manifestation happens.
You can get there through breath work. You can get through there meditation.
You can.
Auditory. You can get there by tones. And
doing
vibrations.
mindfulness is
Yeah.
you're instead of, because a lot of people think like, oh, you have to clear your mind of everything.
No.
Well, I mean,
Ideally,
you can.
that's
That's
one form of.
But the other form of
meditation.
meditation is like being mindful is that you're completely mindful of your surroundings,
Right.
of the moment.
Yeah. I think we cover. I mean, if you take our meditation classes,
Yeah.
it's something that we do cover.
Uh-huh.
And what is very important, and what people need to realize, especially people who are just getting into something like this, is like you really need to learn your foundation.
Absolutely.
You have to have that foundation, and you have to have your spiritual toolbox, and that spiritual toolbox is going to consist of always and forever meditation.
Yeah.
And if you're really, for us, trust me, I went in and out like meditation. I'd go months without meditating,
Same.
and then I go, whatever. Now it's like a daily practice.
Because we realize how important it truly is to spiritual growth. you
Right?
know?
Yeah. So, I forgot where I was going.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
okay.
So
Well,
sorry.
you was talking about the foundation. Like,
Oh, the foundation, yeah.
yeah,
So
it is like
GPS,
Yeah,
GPS.
ground.
Let me give you a little
Yeah.
little slither of love that you don't have to pay for in the meditation classes. Grounding, protection, and shielding. Grounding is very important. If you guys are this far into it and you're listening to us, you are well aware of what grounding is. It is planting your feet on the floor, no matter if you're inside or outside, and imagine the tree roots coming out the bottom of your feet, pushing the energy from the top of your head at your crown chakra down through your body, and just taking the deep breath in your nose and out of your mouth with each press out, and do it as many times as you need to. Release the roots and go on about your day. It works so good. People with anxiety, excuse me, people
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying tonight's episode, it's brought to you by White Widow and also Northern Lights. So, yeah.
that was Northern Lights.
praise be to Saint Phil.
Praise be to St. Phil.
Praise be to Saint Phil.
Absolutely.
And I completely forgot what I was talking about again.
The root of
GPS,
grounding
yeah.
and GPS.
Grounding.
Yeah.
So that is one way. I'm not saying our way is every way. I'm just saying it's practical. It's easy. It's easy for you to learn. It don't have to be overcomplicated. So protection's all dependent upon you. I know for me, spiritually, I use shielding as my protection.
Yeah.
But of course, if you practice religion or any other faith, then you would go for whatever you put your intent behind.
Exactly.
Cross,
wearing a cross or a
Yeah.
rosary.
Crystals.
Yeah.
Putting up. Some people put certain types of stones up around their house.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, even as far as putting up an actual security system in your home,
Mhm.
but thinking about it in a magical sense, you're giving that item intent.
Yeah.
They must be running the microwave or something.
Yeah, it's
'cause
weird. It sounds like
a-
music, like a loudspeaker,
Yeah.
like music playing in a vehicle.
Oh, I bet they are. But where were we?
The protection.
Putting intent.
Okay, yeah,
shielding.
protection. So protection around
Protection's
yourself,
shielding.
for yourself, protection. The main thing, guys, is to remember that you have no fear. You have to have no fear. You have to understand that when you walk into somewhere, you are the baddest of badasses that's in that room with anything. Protecting yourself goes along with shielding, and it intertwines, because shielding's so important. So by shielding, I mean you're pushing out this protective force bubble, and that could be a bubble, that could be whatever you want it to be. I used to teach kids, working with a lot of psychic kids, whatever you want it to be. You could be a fort. And it can change. And I always make sure that they know it could change.
Right.
For me, sometimes I push mine out of my heart chakra or my solar plexus, mainly my solar plexus, just depending.
Mm-hmm.
And then innately, it just becomes a part of your art field.
Absolutely, it
Hey,
does.
guy's gonna buy my helmet for $20.
Okay.
He said he's in Wise.
Okay. Cool.
Are you going anywhere tomorrow?
GPS.
Oh,
Ground
yeah.
protection
Okay.
shield. We might get through this, y'all.
We may
Promise.
get through this. Jonah got me off track. Y'all know any time that I'm partaking in plant medicine, if I'm having a conversation, just let me talk because I forget everything. If like some pin drops, I'm gonna forget what we're talking about. So there's that.
Right.
What are we talking about?
GPS, ground
GPS.
protection
I was-
shield.
I was
So she was
making-
on the shielding part. She
I
was
was
talking about the
making a
forts.
joke.
I know.
Yeah.
I actually remembered. Actually, we were talking about the children, the psychic children.
Yeah,
building
the
forts.
shielding part.
Yeah.
So,
So that is pushing that energy force outside of your body, and it takes practice. It takes visualization too. So just keep in mind that can be any color that you reference to protection with. Some people do bunny suits. I've heard that, or people who will kind of do a vertical shield of some kind. It just depends on what makes you feel safe. What do you associate that with? It's important. That is the foundation of anything that you should have. And meditation is number one, and creating a sacred space for yourself. But that's as far as I go. And
Yeah.
if you would like to or are interested in our meditation
further
classes.
in-depth meditation classes, they are available online for $60.
Yeah. And you get like a month of spiritual counseling from us. So you're at our,
Yeah.
like we're there if you need help.
You can email us any day, any hour, and ask us questions, and we'll guide you through it best
Yep.
we can.
And it comes with 2 psychic readings, one from me in Dallas. And it's full of, it's basic information really,
Yeah.
but not.
It's just
Um,
in layman's terms, really.
Yeah.
It's meditation for dummies, basically. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it,
I think
and
a lot
it's
of
very
that.
easy. It's a very putting it into
Perspective.
easy perspective.
Yeah. I also know too from experience with the meditation classes is you have to be ready to commit.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a daily like if you do take our meditation classes, we do expect you to communicate with us daily.
Daily.
And let us know what's going on, because we want to be able to better
Help you.
We want to be able to give you the most bang for your buck, so to speak. So we when we say reach out to us if you have questions, please do. Don't sit there and struggle with the motivation that you need to try to quieten your mind. You can always work through that with the one of the exercises that's included in the class. It helps you
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. I think it's just important. I mean, I know it's important, and it is coming from someone. When I first started meditating, I had no clue what I was doing. I thought meditation was only for these monks or whatever, and you grew up Appalachian as fuck in the hollers.
Oh yeah.
So, I spent a lot of time watching, Asian cinema. So there was a lot of ninjas and
Yeah.
samurai, and then you had like Buddhist monks,
Yeah.
and that's where I saw
Yeah,
meditation at.
exactly.
As a kid, like those are the people who meditate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Be like Kang from Kung Fu.
Also, like the old wizard that would be sitting there with his hat on and the beard, with his eyes rolled back in his head, doing the meditation. Like his
Old Gandalf.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's. I don't know. Right now, it feels. There's like a disconnection of some type. And I know everybody else has to feel it in the collective. It's
Mhm.
not a question that I've kind of put out there yet because
Right.
we've been kind of more retreated, I guess.
We've been really reserved with our energy because we've been, working through some shit.
Yeah.
Well, as a disconnection, there's also this idea of being depolarized and disconnecting yourself from the world.
Yeah, there is a healthy amount of dissociation that actually
Oh,
comes along
absolutely.
with the spiritual path, guys. Let me tell you, Keith and I were riding in the car the other day, and we were having a conversation about what were we having a conversation?
There was a lot in that conversation.
There was
A lot in that conversation.
dissociation,
But
a
yeah,
healthy
this-
amount of dissociation. Yeah, we were talking about a healthy amount that comes along with it because it has to. There's going to be people that fulfill their very purpose in your life, and you guys have agreed to that in your soul contract before. And once that purpose is fulfilled, whether it be through death, through separation, you guys are going to go your separate ways, and you'll always have a mutual love, and you'll always carry each other's essences, but you'll be on to the next. You know what I mean? There's so many instances like that where you dissociate, and that's when you get on this shamanic path. That's when you start to learn how to deal with death on a different manner.
Yeah, I
than
think
most
that's
people.
where the overall part of that conversation we were discussing death, and the ideas of being able to let go and disassociate from those feelings.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then sometimes you kind of look back on yourself for not having feelings in certain situations, but that is also a self-protection. You're protecting yourself from also being in those lower vibrations, and you get to the idea of celebrating that person's life over being sad that they're gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. So it seems morbid to the normal person looking out.
Yeah.
I'm outside looking in. But for us, we've learned to grieve death in a different manner because we understand the energy process of death. I feel like I've been shown, that you go on to your next. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. So your life force, your very energy, your life force goes on to its next round. I've been shown that, I'm fairly 100% certain that that's how it happens. So I don't know where I was going with that. But.
I know y'all switched conversations like 3 times, and then I love it. I was sitting here patiently just watching and wondering where it was
But
going.
we were talking about the concept of disassociating, and as the collective, feeling this huge disconnect overall.
Right.
And I know, because I've been having a personal disconnect from a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I feel like within my general circle, those people have too, and then the next layer out, so on and so forth. So as that disconnect.
No, well, you drift into people's lives and you drift out of people's lives, and it happens for reasons. And
That's right. It's like, that's the way I feel about it too. I mean, if anybody knows it, it's definitely me. Because the people that I have closest to me in my life are not my direct family.
Right.
Besides my sons, which is always. But
Of course.
it's my people. It's my soul people.
Right.
And of course, Dallas and me are cousins. Don't get me
Right.
wrong about that. We're brother and sister.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's weird. It's a new.
It's a new
chapter,
era.
new era.
I don't think we've got to talk about this to the general public, but we've been feeling a sense of, oh, come on, Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas, come on. Because I don't know where you're going with this.
What have we been feeling as a collective lately? Shit. That's what I was going to talk about, but I can't remember, man.
It happens. What was this? It's not brought to you by.
Northern Lights. Oh, White Widow.
Yeah,
Widow
White
actually
Widow.
is the brain fry. The brain, not fryer, but it misfires is what I mean. It misfires.
Praise be to St. Phil,
Praise be to
patron saint of
Saint
dank. May your bag always be full and your bowl floweth over.
Exactly.
Brought to you by.
Yes.
The letter
St. Phil or Phyllis.
K.
Oh,
For a second there, I was having a hard time figuring out how to pick a letter. I was like, I got 26 of them.
Yeah.
But which one?
That's like when you want to go do karaoke and you're like, oh shit, I forgot every song in the world.
Exactly.
But anyway, yeah, getting back on track. So, I think you were trying to talk about the collective feeling, like what's
Yeah.
happening and what we're
Yeah.
feeling right now.
Absolutely. We've been quiet lately. We've not talked a lot about them. I was going to tell them something that we've been experiencing, like a weird feeling of, because we were on a topic right there before that. I was going to
Yeah, we talked about, well, also just to touch on that, it might help you to remember, but the disassociation part, we're disassociated from shit that's going on in the world we don't know about until somebody tells us.
Yeah.
So one of our dear friends in our tribe told us about the little something something, and I was like, wow. I'm like, damn, that world sucks.
Yeah.
Because I'm taking it from that's
Living
not
in
my
this good
world.
world.
And we've talked about that. That's not my world. And once you do that, what are you doing? You're speaking that into existence. That is
Absolutely.
not my world.
Yeah, and it's
Because
not
it's not so much about us arriving to the new earth, but the new earth arriving
arriving
through
to us. Yeah, through us.
Yeah.
You're right, exactly.
Yeah. So we are changing our percent. Everybody's calling it right now. If you look at all the spiritual communities, they are the people, the seers, the people who have the balls to get on camera and get to do a podcast, even to talk about this
Yeah.
shit. Because, I mean, this is really very highly intellectual conversations that we're having. That you have to meet on a spiritual level to be able to understand.
Right.
And so the people that we're reaching, the people that are listening, think about that. Think about all these other people that are speaking like we do, because we find people like us all the time who vibrate with us. We used to not think they were close to home until shit started getting real, and then before you know it, shit happens, and you got people coming in like crazy
That's true.
that are like around you. I mean, look at me and Dallas' story. We was holler apart for how long?
A long time.
Yeah. But anyway, everybody's coming in. Well, I talked about that earlier, but still hitting on it again. Is everybody is coming in, and the community vibes are strong. We've been seeing that coming in for years now, but that pull, things are coming into motion, and I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
So excited. Other people that are among what I call our tribe are going through the same shit we are. There's tough times, but you can't see them as tough times. That you got to make sure that you're not allowing yourself to become a victim of your own, and getting lost in those feelings of, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? No matter what happens, it's going to be what it's going to be, right? So make sure that you are in the right mindset and keeping yourself in that, and know that Spirit's going to provide for you as long as you stand out of your own way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
Yeah.
You don't lose, you learn.
Yep.
Yeah, it's important also to trust your intuition. Trust your own feelings. If something makes you feel a certain way, you need to understand why. If it's communication issues, clear it out. Have the conversation. No matter how uncomfortable it makes you feel, have the conversation. That's a throat clear.
You have to, man. If not, it's just going to eat at you and eat at you and eat at you, and you're going to become bitter.
Yeah.
Who wants to be bitter?
Nobody. And it's also not just about being that, but towards yourself. It's just being kind, finding the gratefulness, and being grateful in the moments, even in the shittiest ass moments in your life where it seems so inconvenient that something happened to you to make you feel a certain way, that you are going to be grateful in the
Absolutely.
moments.
Turn that shit right around, because I've been so guilty of that in times.
Also in the sense, like if you see someone in need, give.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
you're down to your last thing, help him out,
Absolutely.
because that's gonna come back at you.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's also lifting someone else up.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we don't know what's happening in the future for us.
Oh, uncertainty.
Uncertainty.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
there it
The
is.
compass.
Finally.
The compass.
We have been feeling more uncertain than we ever have in our lives. We've always had a game plan and a roadmap.
Yep.
Until recently, things have changed in our personal lives, and things have changed in our spiritual lives. We're advancing daily. You guys know how much work we put into this.
Yeah.
But yeah, uncertainty. We've never felt more uncertain. And
Stepping into the great unknown.
Truly stepping into the unknown.
To bravely go, to boldly go.
And that's what we all got to do, man. Be brave enough to rise above the fray. Because if not, you'll just get swallowed whole.
Rise above.
Yeah. That's it.
You will, man. You got to stay strong. Stay strong always.
Absolutely. Oh,
And-
you guys. Sorry.
No, go for it. Go.
We got events coming up. If you guys get to this in time, we're going to be at the In It Wise March 17th.
I think 18th.
18th.
March
18th.
Yep, the In It Wise.
Yeah, In It Wise, we're going to be doing energy work from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's $50 per session. You guys get an hour with us, and that comes with a counseling session. As always, you can contact us through Appalachian Spiritual Retreats page on Facebook. You can go to the website, Intuitive Healer Holly Mullins.
Or our personal Facebook.
Intuitive Healer Holly, or our personal, wherever you can fucking find us, just message us. We'll get you a ticket right over, and then we're having a gallery reading, a seminar / shamanic gallery reading.
And I think that's March 25th, right?
That is March 25th. That is actually a 2-hour event. And that is $50 per person.
Yes.
And we are going to throw down. We are going to preach, and we are going
Uh-huh.
to heal, and we're going to
It's
do
gonna
our
be like an
spiritual
old
damn
Southern
thing.
Baptist revival. You ain't gonna want to miss it. You better come.
Yes, and that's going to be at the Old Virginia Opry,
Old time,
Park Avenue
screaming and
Theater
shouting.
in Norton, Virginia.
Yeah,
So if you guys want tickets to that, please reach out. We'd love to see you guys. Love to connect with you.
absolutely.
And we've got the retreats coming up in April.
We do, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
We got one the last weekend of April, I think, the 28th through the May 1st, maybe.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that area, but look for it on our Appalachian Spiritual Retreats page. We are very excited, and please reach out and reserve your spot today because it may not be there tomorrow,
Yep. Tickets are $222.
which is very special to us.
That's our synchronicity.
That's our,
You guys, these retreats are very special.
they really are.
They are by no means bougie at all,
No.
but it ain't about that. It's about the
No.
healing that comes out of it.
And we've seen the beautiful things happen at our retreats, guys. It's amazing.
even with ourselves, it's not just about.
No, it's a big.
Yeah.
I think we're all on a level playing field that weekend, and that's how
Yeah.
everybody's made to feel. And
That's
it's
how
just
we've
a
met
safe,
some of our tribe
beautiful
people too.
area.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man! Come join us. I
Yeah.
promise we will have the best weekend.
Yeah, you guys, if you are out and about on Facebooks, go check out Appalachian Spiritual Retreats. Look at our events that's coming up because we got a lot more coming up, and
And this is our third year, guys, so it gets better and better.
yeah, third year, new
Yeah,
shirts,
third year, new shirts,
necklaces.
new necklaces. So you want to come be a part of that. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
What's the thing over in Eola coming up?
Oh, the spiritual. We're doing our very first ever spiritual fair in
Yeah.
Eola, Kentucky, my little hometown, right next to Pound, Virginia, here in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains. We're going to have an Appalachian spiritual fair, and that's going to include a very eclectic background of people, very eclectic spiritual people, very eclectic Appalachian tradesmen. There's going to be some awesome artwork there, including our own. Gosh, it's I forget what. Forgive me, but what day it is in June? But it's in June. I think it's close to the summer solstice in that area.
It is, yeah.
So we try to.
Yeah,
plan
we're totally going to
accordingly.
do some meditation by the
By the creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing meditation by the creek. And,
Storyteller.
drum circle by the creek. We got a we may have a couple storytellers coming.
We may do it. We may have.
We've got some readers. Of course, we'll be available for readings as well.
Yes, we do have a tarot reader coming, and we may have multiple.
Yeah.
Why not?
We'll probably have multiple tarot readers.
All right. I guess we're done.
Yeah, well, peace out, guys.
Peace out.
Until next time.
Bye.
See ya.